Hey guys, we're back working on Red Dead again. It's been, I think, 2 weeks since I last touched it. I've been out here working on some other stuff. Cameron's working on his 318 in the background. But anyway, I wanted to follow up on some of the things I've done and what we're going to look at today. This video is going to either be running at the end great or not, and I'm still troubleshooting. So we'll just see what we get done. But either way, I did try fresh fuel. I threw 6 gallons of brand new gas in there. The old stuff was all, washed out. And I'm still running lean, essentially, like the car just leans out. So anyway, let's get into it, see what we're gonna do, and I'll talk about what we get done today. All right guys, so let me show you how it's running right now and what happens. I do have an air fuel ratio gauge that will tell me what's happening. I don't know how well it's hooked up, but let's see. So as far as starting it, let's see, it'll start, let me make sure it's not in gear. I'll hit it a million times. So we start out and it's reading 14.9 and it slowly goes up. Now it's 15.5, 15.8, 16. It's sitting at 16, it's bouncing back to 14. This thing is just all over the place. You can kind of hear it bogging out. Well, what's gonna happen is the car is getting ready to die. Well, now it's coming down to 13. Oh, now it's at 19, and the car is going to die. Essentially, it's just going to shut off and die. Oh, it saved itself somehow. Doesn't usually do that. So I'm going to turn it off. All right, so some things I'm going to look at. Let's see if I get the sun glare out of there. I am going to check my wiring for my boost gauge. Right now, that's not working. That'll kind of help me see if I have a vacuum leak or something and I'm not actually pulling vacuum. I am going to check the wiring and such on the watt box, because there is a watt box in here and the wiring looked like complete trash. They used crappy connectors, or I mean, they were probably fine years ago, but you know, time goes on, things get weak. And then I'm going to look for any vacuum leaks I can. I think the intake gasket might be leaking, and I might swap a few parts like the idle air control valve, because I have 2 other vehicles I can pull some stuff from. So, and I'm also going to try to check fuel pressure, see if I'm getting fuel pressure at the rail. So anyway, let's follow along and see what we can find out. Alright guys, so the first thing I wanted to look at, God, where's the sun at? First thing I wanted to look at was the fuel pressure, because I think it's the easiest thing to check. So I have Kevin here to help me as well, but I came in, I pulled the Schrader valve off, added the inside of the fuel rail. I put it on a fuel pressure tester. It's actually reading 40 PSI now, but we just did a test. Anyway, I'm going to show you, but I did start the car, primed it, it gets to about 40 to 50 PSI, and then when it's running, it's between 50 and 60. I think, and I'll double check and correct myself if I'm wrong, pretty sure it says 58 PSI right around that is normal. So I can't imagine being between that is the problem. So let's take a look. Yeah, so we are now between 50 and 60. The camera shows it differently than what I see, but you know, like right now it runs good, and then it's going to lean out or just die. So fortunately, fuel pressure doesn't seem to be the issue. So let me turn that off before it just dies. So I don't think the boost gauge has anything to do with it either, personally, and I don't think the watt box is the issue, or we wouldn't be getting anything to the car. So I'm still troubleshooting what it could be. It definitely just seems like it's either getting too much air, or maybe the O2 sensors are wigging out. So, all right, so fuel doesn't seem to be the issue, at least not to the fuel rail. And that doesn't mean that an injector can't be bad, but it's definitely not the pump itself. So let's keep troubleshooting. Kind of going in circles on this thing because I don't really know what to dive into first. I'd like to see my boost gauge work to see what's going on there. But the wiring mess in here, I mean, we've just got all kinds of wiring down here. Our boost box wiring. Most of this seems like it's air fuel ratio and everything. And I am just trying to see, you know, how this was all done. I'm dealing with some pretty shoddy wiring. So I think I might even pull it all out, start fresh, and see how it goes. But then I've got to pull the dash, and I'm trying to avoid that. But I'm thinking I may have to just to start over in a way to see what wires what, because this is a mess. So God help me, hopefully I'll figure it out. Well, I'm gonna be honest, this video is probably coming out super choppy, mostly because I haven't focused just on this car. I wanted to throw it on the lift and kind of take a look around and everything, see if there's anything amiss, you know, besides old hornets' nests and whatnot. And I remember that O2 sensor, I unplugged it because I'm gonna do some testing with it unplugged, but if you see, the wires were all chewed up. The wires chewed up on this. I'm wondering if maybe it's giving a bad signal to the car and I'm gonna need to replace that, because bad O2 sensor can definitely cause some of the issues I'm having. What's weird is I just had this thing running for 5 minutes and it stayed around 12 to 13 on the air-fuel ratio and fluctuated a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm gonna try to rule out that O2 sensor and try to look at some more data. I mean, I'm not getting anything specific, and I haven't really dove into one thing. Just kind of jumping around. It's probably not the best way to do this. I know that. And if this O2 sensor doesn't tell me anything, the next thing I'm going to make sure I do is go get that boost gauge working. But unfortunately, all the wiring is all jumping. I'm probably going to need to take the dash out, the trace wires, to make sure I'm hooking up the right thing. And then we'll see. I'm hoping for the best. I just want this thing to drive so I can beat the crap out of it a little bit. But I might keep it recording. I might just keep checking in one way or the other. But let me see how this thing runs now that O2 sensor is unplugged. The one for the aftermarket gauge, as far as I can tell, is this one. And that is still plugged in. But this one was also plugged in. And if the car is still getting the signal from that, and that thing's all chewed up, because I mean the wires are really bad shape, could be causing some problems. So let me see what I can do, see if it runs better. And then again, you see my friend can do it, cheaper exhaust, booger welds, booger welds, booger welds, booger welds, and then the rest is okay. So really, really crappy. All right, let's see if it'll run better with that unplugged. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna just start throwing some parts out, like the air-to-air control that I have sitting around, you know, nothing new, just swap a couple suspected good for suspected bad. See how it goes. Let's see what we get with that O2 sensor unplugged, just to see if it'll put the car maybe in limp mode or something instead. Again, it might have nothing to do with it, but worth checking. Car's running super lean, and then yeah, it's just so strange. Now it's starting to dial itself in. Earlier it was kind of staying around there, like in the green, you know, and then it kind of fluctuates to the leaner side. I'm going to hook up our tuner to see if maybe this thing is on a weird tune or something. Maybe that'll tell me something. I'm not super concerned about this car. Get it going, I do, I don't. Just kind of wanted to play around with it a bit. Yeah, see, now it's leaning out. It's completely acting like it's getting no fuel. It's making me think idle air control, because it's yeah, it's just weird, inconsistent. All right, well, the O2 sensor wiring has nothing to do with it, so I guess I came into this hoping it would be like a 30-minute thing, and it's not going to be that. So let's just try some parts can and stuff. See if I've got an idle air control valve over here somewhere in my pile of crap. It's a very good question. I'm sure it's here somewhere. This is one of the first ones I stripped down and just kind of made a pile of parts. Let's see. Let me put that on. No, that's not it. I am sure it's here somewhere. What is this? Boomer fuel rail? Ah, no. More parts from time. AGP shift fork? Nope. Extra set of shift cables? No, not that. Factory shift pistons and rods. Broken sensor. I know I saw it over here because I was admiring it recently. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're gonna swap this over just to see. Make sure it's not related to that. Probably isn't, but hey, you know, got the part, can try it. So swap it out.
kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget.
See if it makes a difference. Kind of just checking some things off before I spend probably an entire day working on this thing, but if it comes to that, I'll do it. Keys in it. I don't think it's gonna make a difference. Same thing. Could just be a bad gasket. So, one thing I know that I need to do now, just ruling out the air control, is that I took the intake off like 3 times and I never put a new gasket on it, and the old one looked pretty shitty. So I think I'm gonna pull the intake gasket off and just throw a new one on there. If there's an air leak there, it will cause all kinds of issues here. So let me give that a shot. Something to mention is, I got a feedback from one person that was like, oh, you know, you're never getting the camera in there. Well, I bought an adapter that's gonna let me kind of get the camera wherever I want it. So I'm gonna swap a new intake gasket on that, in case that's one of my problems.
I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down.
Alright, so need to get this a little more off so that I can take the old gasket out of it. Oh, no, wait, the old gasket just fell out. That's really all I needed to happen. I can just slide the new one in without doing too much work. This thing is pretty petrified. Let's see if I can get it through here without, oh my god, it's falling apart. Yeah, I really don't know how well this thing was working. Oop. Oop. Yeah, I mean, it could have been working, but I don't know. Doesn't cost much to change it.
They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me make it, they don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe.
Hey, so big surprise, camera shut off because it was too hot. I did finish putting the intake manifold on and started it up, and I think that has made a difference. My air-fuel ratio right now is just sitting at 13.1, seems a little better. I've been able to rev it up and it hasn't tried to choke out yet, but again, if I'm dealing with like a bad wiring issue somewhere, this can go intermittent. I'm gonna see if I can take it for a test drive and I'll follow up after. I can tell you, I'm not done with this car. There's gonna be a lot more issues, even if this solved the first one. But yeah, I'm gonna take it for a drive, see how it does. Let's go for our drive. never gonna run right. Well, it ran really good until I got out there, and then it completely bogged out and was leaning out. So there's definitely still something going on. That's it for this video though. So we've rolled out pretty much the idle air control. We've rolled out intake manifold gasket, fuel pressure, and what else? I think the watt box we can probably safely roll out. I am going to get back to this probably sometime during the week, and I'll give you a better update. I hope to make this video, this one, like under 10 minutes. Just a quick check-in, let you know that I did work on it. I think the next thing is getting my boost gauge set up to see if I have a boost leak, doing a smoke test, maybe even a boost leak, whatever it might take to get it figured out. I just didn't have all the time today to do it, but tried a few things, so let's see what happens next time.